So we're going to do a little review on partitive expressions as well as some ablative ofs and accusative ofs. So a couple of things you need to have ready. You need to make sure that you're in Teams. You've printed out your chapter 23 week 9 student notes because that's what we'll fill in. As well, you need to pull your purple ablative and accusative of charts that I gave you last year, as we'll continue to fill those in for a handy reference. Okay. Last year, you learned how to use the partitive genitive to express a part of the whole. So if I said I ate part of the watermelon, of the watermelon would be written in the genitive case. So part of the whole. You can do the same thing in Latin with ordinal numbers. And remember what an ordinal number is? It has to do with order. So first, second, third. If I said primus multorum, I've got the genitive right here. So primus is first. So it literally is the first of many. But you cannot use the genitive with any cardinal numbers. Remember, cardinal numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 0, and any number greater than 0, except for mille. And mille is 1,000. Yep. Instead, you're going to use the Latin preposition e or x followed by the ablative case, because e or x is a preposition that takes the ablative. All right, so if I said decamilia, here we've got 1,000, so we can use genitive rosarum. So literally 10,000 roses, or 10,000 of the roses, right? Because you're not using all the roses in the world, but because it's millia and with 1,000, we can use the partitive genitive. Now, if I said decam e rosis, so decam by itself is just 10, I have to use e or x followed by the ablative. So 10 of the roses, or 10 out of the roses, because clearly you don't have all the roses in the universe, but 10, or you could just say 10 roses. Now, note that the adjective mille is indeclinable if it is singular. And more than 1,000, it behaves as a third declension neuter I stem noun. So the adjective pauci a, which is always plural. Can you see those are not singular endings? Those are plural endings, because few can be more than one. It also uses the ex plus the ablative construction, and the case of pauci is determined by the function of pauci in the sentence. So let's look at a couple. Pauci, e feminis cantabunt. A few of the women will sing. So this clearly is the nominative. A few will sing. A few. This is the few are the ones doing the singing. And paucas, e feminis vidimus. We saw a few of the women. So this would have to be accusative, because it is the victim of being seen, right? It's the direct object. All right, let's take a look at ablative of price. So this is where you fill in your purple chart with all the check marks that I have there. And so pause if you need to do that, and then come on back. So the ablative of price takes the ablative and no preposition. In Latin, the price of the thing being bought, right, or the thing costing something, is going to be in the ablative. So I've put these in the ablative for you so that you can see. So agrum sestertium sex millibus when did it? He bought the land for 6,000 sesters. Notice that sesters uses the genitive. Do you see that right here? This is in the genitive because it is partitive genitive. He didn't spend all the sesters in the Roman Empire, just part of them. That's why they put it in the genitive. Okay. Agricola vacas pecunia vendit. The farmer sells his cows for money. Doesn't matter that it doesn't say what price, but we know that the cost of the cows is money. The cost of the cows is not raspberries or rocks, it's money. So it, as well, pecunia, is in the ablative. So it's the price of the thing. You wouldn't put cows in the ablative, but you put the price of it, and the price of it is money. So there are certain adjectives that you will see in ablative of price. Magno, parvo, willi, plurimo, and minimo. You can take a look at those, couple of those right here. Conioratio magno illisterit. The conspiracy cost that man greatly. So you understand that there was a cost. The price of something was great. And because it is the price of something, greatly is the price of something, it needs to be in the ablative. So same here, togam willi emmi. I bought the toga cheap. So what was the cost of the toga? It doesn't matter that we don't know the exact amount. It is still the cost. It's the cost of the toga. It was cheap was the cost, and so it's going to be in the ablative. All right. In English, we have a lot of phrases that begin with prepositions. I can say, I paid $59 for this shirt. We will go on the vacation in 3 days. Within 4 months, they fought many battles. During the summer of his first presidency, he signed few laws. For many years, I swam every morning. And in Latin, these phrases don't use prepositions. Way back in Latin 1, you learned ablative of means, manner, and separation, which sometimes don't use a preposition. Ablative of price does not use a preposition either. Now we're going to look at the different ablatives of time, which also do not use prepositions. Again, pull out your ablative chart, get that filled in, and then come back. All right, so we know ablative time is ablative and no preposition. So the ablative time expresses when, I'm going to put that in capitals, that's going to be important, when an action occurs. The English equivalent uses the prepositions on, at, or in. So when translating, use the one that makes the most sense to you. So if I said vere, it's in the spring. Eo tempore, at that time. Quinta nocte, on the fifth night. You could say in the fifth night, or I don't know if you can use in the fifth night, at the fifth night. You couldn't do that. That wouldn't make sense. But use the one that makes the most sense to you. Pretty easy. It just takes the ablative, no preposition. Ablative of time. Here's another ablative of time. It's called ablative of time within which. So clearly ablative, and again, no preposition. And the ablative of time expresses the period within which an action occurs. So not when an action occurs, but a period of time. So the English equivalent uses the prepositions within, in, or during. And again, when translating, use the one that makes the most sense to you. So if I said paucis horis, within a few hours. Or you could say during a few hours or during the few hours, but context will help you. Bono anno, during the good year, right? Or in the good year. Whatever one makes sense to you, it just has to make good English sense. And that's about, so again, ablative of time when tells me exactly when it occurs. Ablative time within which is more of a period of time within which something occurs. So they're both ablative. Let's take a look at accusatives. So make sure you have your accusative chart out. And this is accusative of duration of time. Again, accusative and no preposition. The accusative time expresses for how long a period of time action occurs. You can think of it as the accusative of how long versus the ablative of when. The English equivalent uses the preposition for, but not always. So if I said multos annos vixit, he lived for many years, you could also say, and it would make perfect English sense, he lived many years. Paucas ora, so again, we've got the accusative here. And remember that these are both in the accusative because multos modifies annos and paucas modifies ora, so they both have to be. It's an adjective, so they both have to be in the accusative. He will stay at home for a few hours. Or you could say he will stay at home a few hours. Both of those make sense. So you can put it in or you don't have to. Okay. So, if you have trouble distinguishing time within which from how long, you can say, is this sentence telling me when an action occurs, which makes ablative, or for how long it occurs? So that will help you a little bit. Okay. So let's look at accusative of space and degree. Again, no preposition. And the accusative of space and degree is used to show quantity or measurements. This expression includes words like miles, feet, depth, height, so much, not at all. I'll give you a couple examples. Again here in the accusative. He advanced 3 miles. So we've got that word miles. It tells us how many. With words like miles, you're going to get some clues. You will see some words in there that give you a clue that it should be accusative. Flumen est viginti pedis altum. The river is 20 feet deep. So here we've got 20. Here we've got viginti pedis, which is feet, and altum, which is deep. So all of that so feet deep will be in the accusative. Okay, te amo tantum, I love you so much. Here we go in the accusative because it's telling us a measure, a space, a degree of something. How much? So much. Those were all pretty easy. The hardest part is just getting them down and learning to recognize them, which is why I have you put them in notes in several different ways because, of course, when you write them, they get into your brain better. But get all that filled out and you will have a much easier time doing your homework.